everyone, this is Heidi. I'm behind the blog called Hands Occupied, and I'm also the designer of these really cute winter boot slippers from this issue of I Like Knitting magazine. These slippers, I can't wait to take home the sample after this video shoot today because I am going to wear these all winter long. These are made with some really fun, bulkier yarn, so they don't take all that long to make. Honestly, I made my first stab at these in just one weekend, so hot tip right there. And these slipper boots are great because they can fold up and be worn closer up to the knee for when it's really cold, but they also fold down and button so that they can fold over a pair of boots or can just be worn right around the ankle so they're nice and warm for you there. A couple of things I wanted to talk to you about in how I made these boots. So these are constructed just like you would knit a top-down sock or a cuff-down sock, except you'll start by knitting flat for this flat part that folds down and buttons, and then you join into a round and work the rest of the boot. And then the thing that blew my mind when I put this design together was the slipper soles. So when you knit a pair of socks or a pair of slippers especially, you don't necessarily want to wear them as is without any grip added to the bottom because you could slip and fall and get hurt. And so one of the things that I worked with the editors on was including a leather sole in these slippers. You can see there's two pieces of leather that are hand stitched on there at the end. But I had a heck of a time even finding a slipper sole. So instead of using a store-bought slipper sole, I DIY'd them with leather that I got at the craft store. So let me give you a couple little tips for making your own slipper soles to go with these. So first and foremost, they need to be the right size. So what I've done ahead of this video is cut out some felt for demonstration's sake. I traced my foot. I cut straight edges on both sides of the shape of my foot length and then cut them and separated them so I'd have a heel piece and a toe piece like I have in this boot here. Then what we're going to need to do is punch holes all the way around the outside edge of each of these pieces so that we have something to sew to. So when you're working with leather, you might want to use something like this. This tool is called the Crop-A-Dial, crop like C-R-O-P, and this is a scrapbooking tool, but I use it all the time in sewing and other crafts besides paper crafts. So it's kind of like using a hole punch, except for it's got a lot of extra leverage. I mean, look at this thing. It's meaty. You can see all my tendons when I try to hold it. It's so heavy duty. So all you've got to do is figure out where you want to punch your hole, line it up, and punch it out, and then you have a hole to work with for sewing. The thing with some of these holes with different punchers is that they get pretty big, which you can see here. So what I did with this leather was I tried experimenting with this huge cropping tool, which is faster, but to make it a little tighter so it looked really nice for the magazine, I used a nail and a mallet, and I actually used a coaster underneath to catch the sharp point of the nail so I wouldn't wreck my work surface. And I punched the holes all the way around so that I could then sew them on, kind of like a Girl Scout patch, to the soles of my slippers. And other than that, these slippers come together pretty well. They're really fast, like I say. You use a chunky yarn, you use cuff down construction, and then you add the slipper soles and you're all set. So those are my hot tips for how to have success making these really cute slipper boots, and I can't wait to see your guys' takes on these projects.